This is you, not the worst version of you, not the best. Just you right now at 12:47 in the morning, phone in hand, doing the thing you said you wouldn't do tonight. You're not addicted. That word doesn't apply here and you know it. You're not out of control. You go to work. You meet your deadlines. You function. You're just tired. And this specific hour, this specific quiet, feels like the only thing today that actually belongs to you. You said 11, maybe 10:30. You meant it when you said it? It's 12:47. The day didn't feel like yours, not in a dramatic way. Nothing collapsed. No single moment you could point to and say, that's where it went wrong. It was smaller than that. Notifications before you'd finished your first coffee. Decisions made for you and handed to you as if they were collaborative. A conversation where you adjusted your tone to avoid friction. Work that got done, competently, for outcomes you don't particularly care about. You answered messages you didn't want to answer. You performed patience you didn't feel. You gave the day what it asked for. All of it. And the day took it without much acknowledgement, the way days do. And now everyone else is asleep. The obligations are paused. The expectations have nowhere to land. And this, 12:47, the dark room, the lit screen, this is the only hour no one can reach you. No one needs anything from you right now. And that feeling is so rare that you're not ready to give it up. Even for sleep. Even knowing what tomorrow morning is going to feel like. So, you unlock the phone. Not for anything specific. There's no notification pulling you in. No message you forgot to answer. You just pick it up. One video, maybe two. You're not even that interested in what's playing. You register it. Loosely. You keep going. And the sentence running underneath all of this, quiet, barely conscious, is, I deserve this. Short sentence. Feels reasonable? Feels true even? You did work hard today. You did give a lot. The logic is sound. But notice what that sentence is doing. It's not describing rest. Real rest, sleep, stillness, actual recovery. That's also something you deserve. What that sentence is actually doing is closing the conversation before it opens. I deserve this means, don't examine this. Don't ask what this is actually for. Just accept it and keep going. And so you do. One video becomes 4. 4 becomes a thread. A thread becomes a corner of the internet you didn't plan to end up in. It's 1:09. You noticed and kept scrolling. Here's the part that's harder to look at. This wasn't a one-off. Sunday night, the same. Wednesday night, last week, the week before. Each time, some version of the same justification. Each time, some version of the same intention abandoned. Each time, the same approximate window, 11:1, where the plan dissolves and the pattern takes over. And each morning, some version of the same negotiation. Tonight, I'll fix it. You mean that too. Every single time you mean it. But here's what's true at 12:47 a.m. that isn't true at 8 a.m. Tomorrow doesn't feel real. Not psychologically. Tomorrow, the tired version of you, the less focused version, the one sitting in a meeting running on 6 hours, that person doesn't have full weight right now. They exist in theory. Right now, only right now exists, and right now feels like it needs this. So the pattern continues, not because you're weak, not because you don't care, but because the conditions at 12:47 are specifically, reliably set up for this exact outcome. They were always going to produce this. This isn't really about entertainment anymore. It stopped being about the content a while ago. What this is actually about is control. Psychologists who study sleep behavior have documented something called Revenge Bedtime Procrastination, a term formalized by researchers including Croce and colleagues. which describes a specific pattern. People who feel they had insufficient control or personal time during the day deliberately delay sleep at night to reclaim it. It's not irrational. The logic is internally consistent. The day compressed you. The night expands you. Sleep ends that expansion and hands you back to tomorrow, which is already waiting with its own compressions. So, you delay surrender. Not consciously. You're not sitting there thinking, I am reclaiming my autonomy. You're just scrolling. But the mechanism underneath the scrolling is a regulated response to a day where your self-direction felt restricted. Your brain is solving a real problem, just with a solution that creates a larger one, because the autonomy you feel at 1 a.m. is borrowed. It's coming out of tomorrow's account. The control you're reclaiming tonight is costing you the capacity to hold things together tomorrow. And the exhausted tomorrow makes the next day feel like something to survive rather than something to move through, which makes the next night feel like it needs this even more. Here's where the stakes change. At first, this was occasional. A bad week, a stressful stretch, something to recover from. Now it's a ritual. It has a shape, a familiar feeling. Your thumb moves through it automatically. The app's in the same order, the same approximate spiral. You don't even laugh at the videos anymore. You're not entertained. You're not relaxing, not in any real physiological sense. Your cortisol is still running. Your brain is processing stimulus. You're just delaying the silence. And something has shifted that's harder to name than sleep debt or next day focus. You've started to notice that your night promises don't hold. I'll stop at 11. You didn't. I won't scroll tonight. You did. You meant those things when you said them. Your intention was genuine. But your brain is a pattern recognition system, and it has been collecting data on you. And the data says, the things you say after 10 p.m. don't carry weight. You're not lying to yourself exactly. You're just operating in a context where your future self has quietly lost standing, where the commitments you make in daylight get quietly renegotiated once the night settles in. That erosion doesn't feel dramatic. It feels like nothing most of the time, but it's accumulating. Sleep loss doesn't just make you tired. That's the version everyone knows, and it's true. But it's not the full picture. Chronic short sleep, the kind that comes from consistent 1, 2 a.m. nights, measurably lowers emotional resilience. It narrows the gap between stimulus and reaction. Things that would be manageable on 8 hours become sharp, personal, heavier than they should be on 6. The colleague's tone that wouldn't have registered now stays with you. The small failure that would have rolled off now sits. Discipline, the actual neurological capacity for it, is reduced. Prefrontal function, which governs impulse regulation and long-range thinking, is specifically sensitive to sleep deprivation. Which means the version of you that shows up tomorrow, tired, is also the version of you with measurably less access to the tools that make restraint possible. So tomorrow night, when the moment comes, you're starting from a lower baseline. You're working with less. And what costs you nothing when you're rested starts costing you when you're not. The loop isn't dramatic. It doesn't feel like a spiral. It feels like a series of ordinary nights. That's why it's effective. That's why it persists. Dramatic things are easy to recognize and respond to. This is quiet. You don't lose your energy all at once. That's not how it works. It leaves in quiet exchanges. One more video. One more minute that you told yourself belonged to you. One more small trade that felt like nothing at the time. And then tomorrow comes and you're already slightly behind yourself. Slightly slower. Slightly less available for the things that actually matter to you. And you'll feel it. That particular morning flatness. And you won't trace it back here. You'll think it's the coffee, the stress, the season. It's the exchanges, the small ones, the quiet ones. the ones that felt like yours. Because this isn't the only place you do this. This isn't the only behavior with that sentence underneath it. Just one more. I deserve this. Just a minute. You say it with food, late when the day is done. You say it with conversations you know you should exit. You say it with the bed in the morning. 5 more minutes that become 20. You say it with things you're supposed to start and keep not starting. Different behavior, same pattern, same moment of negotiation, same internal sentence doing the same quiet work. The scrolling is one expression of it, but the pattern runs deeper than any single screen. And that's worth sitting with. But that's another night.